Confused.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
Mark.
And guys, this week we're going to be covering something that we probably should have been covering for the past few weeks, but I'm going to let it be because hopefully you guys love us for what we do. Let's cover the Book of Boba Fett. That is one of the most anticipated shows of 2022 so far. I know it technically started in 2021. But it was one of those shows that like everyone was looking forward to because it's going to give you a little bit more in-depth comparison, and explanation to everyone's favorite bounty hunter. Present company excluded. Sorry, Mando. Let's talk about it. How did you take the first couple episodes? Obviously, if you have watched this, awesome. If you haven't, spoiler alert, we're covering everything up into this week's episode, and then we're going to do a big finale episode, so keep an eye out for it. So Mark, give me your thoughts and feelings on we'll just start with the first episode and go from there.
I mean, for me, Boba Fett was always one of my low-key favorite characters, mainly just because he was just such a mystery. The dude literally only has I didn't even think about it. So literally I was watching epic rap battles one day, and there's Boba Fett versus Deadpool. And one of the lines, it's like a diss line. It's he talks about how he was in the whole movie, but he only had 3 lines, and one of them was just him screaming as he fell into the Sarlacc pit. And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Not wrong.
Yeah, that's all he does. He only has 2 lines. So I was like, all right. I always wanted to see more. Fans always wanted to see more. We're finally getting more. He came up in the season 2 of The Mandalorian. I was really interested in what direction that they could take it with him. I'm gonna mess up his name, but Tamora Morrison.
Yeah,
Tamara.
I could be fucking completely wrong. I'm gonna fuck his name up too.
But they brought him back to play the character. I was so happy about that.
Oh god, yeah.
And now we're actually we're learning a little bit more now about how he got out. It starts off with him in the Sarlacc pit and him breaking out of it. Then he joins this clan, and he's a slave to a clan of Tuskens. Then he just whips ass, and they're like, "Yo, you want to be one of us?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be one of you." They're "You want to teach us some hand signals?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll teach you some hand signals. You want to teach me how to make that bow or that staff?" They're like, "Yeah, we'll teach you that staff." They fucking taught him how to use the staff, and then he fucks up more people.
So let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts on the constant time jump between the present day and his memories when he's in the tank?
Personally, I think they're taking a page right out of Arrow, Arrow season 1 and 2.
Absolutely.
You had what Oliver Queen was currently doing and the struggles he was fighting, and then it cuts back to why he's in that struggle from his time on the island, who he crossed, who he killed, what it got into. So I really enjoy that duality of jumping back and forth. But for me, you can see now, obviously it's playing to become part of another spinoff of The Mandalorian, which obviously we all knew it was. But I feel Mando really should have I feel him and Boba shouldn't be in the same category.
And I don't think they are.
No disrespect to them, but obviously the Boba Fett show is a spinoff of The Mandalorian, but I feel it shouldn't have been. I felt he should have got his own thing and then linked it into The Mandalorian.
Sure. So I think the big thing is I think they're still drafting on The Mandalorian success. And it's hard to argue it when everyone's favorite episode of the season was when they introduced Mando.
Right.
But up until then, and maybe this is just me, this is an opinion-based show anyway. I felt like it was kind of slow.
It definitely was slow, but I think that's because they're still trying to establish the universe now post Vader, because it's still so close. Yeah. The only thing that we've really gotten from this somewhat era is actually not even. I was gonna say Bad Batch, but that's right after Order 66.
Yep. That's technically Vader era. So, right when everything starts to go down.
Yeah. No, I think this is honestly might be the first thing since the fall of the Empire, if to my knowledge. Rogue One was pre-Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the last trilogy. They're trying to rewrite that, so I don't even consider that.
This is them retconning it currently.
Yeah, like
it was all a dream.
Yeah, I think this is the first thing. I mean, I guess Rebels what goes into it a little bit.
Yeah, I remember Rebels, like the animated series, but like as far as live action stuff, like this is
So like I
man.
was okay, and that's what I mean. So like I was okay with it going slow because I always assume okay, there's gonna be it's Boba Fett. There's gonna be a season 2.
Sure.
And now I'm learning that this is just setting up the season 3 of The Mandalorian, and then season 3 of The Mandalorian, you're probably going to get more of the Mando Boba team up. And I think Boba Fett will play a bigger role there as the leader and whatever, even if they end up having him finally get killed or something like that, and then Mando becomes the new I forget the word. Like his position.
God, I said it the other day too. Starts with a D. Whatever. He becomes like the mob boss, essentially.
Right. But like I don't know. Like there's so many characters that like I really do like. Like
I'm a huge fan of Fennec.
Fennec, dude. I'll tell you right now, Ming-Na Wen, everything she's in, she's stuck.
She is the essentially. I mean, I'm gonna say it's Disney now because they're all Disney properties, but she is the Disney triple threat. She played Mulan. She was the voice of Mulan in the original movie. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she's Fennec Shand in this. So she has played in all 3 of like the Disney type universes.
Yeah, like she's completed the trifecta.
Yeah, she's bad. And
like she's Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. Like,
and she's fucking, like you said, she smashed it and everything. She's so good. So fucking
yeah,
good.
like it's ridiculous. But I mean, there's just I don't know, like you said, it was slow, but granted, how fast can you really move when the people he's interacting with like don't even speak the language and there's no subtitles? So like
yeah,
I feel like they were playing a little bit of that, which I liked. I really liked that. It's like, look, this dude's a survivor. Literally, he becomes part of a clan that doesn't even speak his language.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I couldn't do that. And now you're.
Okay, sorry, continue.
No. I was just gonna say, but now I feel like it's slowly just turning into like we're just gonna set up everything else that we have going on.
Well, I mean, they got a lot of properties coming up. They have like Ahsoka, they have Obi-Wan, they have, the Mando season 3. And like I'm cool with them having a Mando like piece of Boba Fett because like at this point in this canon universe, they do exist together and they exist fairly close. They have worked together before. I'm cool with that. But I think, and again, I'm not at the, we haven't had the season finale yet, but like it's turned into Mando season 3, episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah, like you got Timothy Oliphant coming back as like Cobb Vanth, and like what's the killed. Free? I don't think he got killed.
Oh, he got shot at the very least.
He got shot in his draw arm.
Okay.
But like but it looked like it hits him more in the shoulder. His deputy, he's fucked.
Oh yeah, he got destroyed.
So the reason why I don't think that Cobb Vanth is dead is because he got shot once. His deputy got shot like 7 times.
Yeah. As his body was riddled with bullets, he realized this was not the job for him.
Yeah, like Cad Bane, like he shot Cobb once. He shot his deputy 5 times. So, and like that's just me, because like Cobb takes his eyes off of like Cad Bane, and that's when Cad Bane gets him. So it's kind of like, I mean, I think Cad Bane wins that draw every time.
Oh yeah.
Either way. But like it's just one of those things where I think like Cad Bane kind of like he still has some he's like the pirate in freaking Clone Wars. Like he's a bad guy, but like he still has honor. Like that dude through and through is a pirate. Like Cad Bane is, yes, a bounty hunter, but like we see bounty hunters like for the most part aren't these low life people. Like they have strict codes that they follow and they abide by. Mm-hmm. And with Cad Bane being like that Western influenced character, like I feel like he knew it wasn't a fair draw, so he kind of like just made like wounded, not killed.
Yeah.
And that was my feel for it. But
Well,
the fact that we got Cad Bane, like,
oh, dude, I was super excited about that. I wasn't sure, the direction they were heading, and then the second you saw that like silhouette in the sunset, I was like, oh yeah, give me that shit all day, all day. But since we were talking about like big things that happened since Mando, season 3, episodes 1 and 2, so Din Djarin like is exploring the universe, doing his thing, and finds the armorer, and he comes straight out with like, oh yeah, by the way, I got the Darksaber and I got this Beskar spear. And here is something that pissed me off about that interaction. There's a few things.
can I guess before you tell?
Please.
Is it
Go
the
ahead.
fact? Is it the fact that she fucking like comes after him for the fact that, oh, you can't have a spear made of Beskar? You are a Mandalorian. Like, why would you wield a weapon that could hurt us? And then turn around 2 seconds later and immediately attack him with Beskar hammers.
Beats the fucking brakes off of this dude with a Beskar hammer. Are you fucking kidding me? You hypocritical piece of shit. So that's number one.
You can't have that as I whip your ass with it.
A huge thing that I liked about it was the fact that they had like the Paz Vizsla, who's the heavy gunner Mando, like reference the fact that his ancestors was like the creator of the fucking Darksaber and he thought it was his birthright. I loved that. I fucking loved it. Wasn't a huge fan of how the fight really like shook out. I mean, it was interesting. But I think the coolest part of the fight was the fact that a Mandalorian who has zero experience with lightsabers cut his own fucking. Oh no, sorry, that was before that. That was during the interaction with the fucking mob boss. He cut his own fucking leg with the goddamn lightsaber. Like, that is so real. I loved that. That was awesome. But then during the fight, it was just like and again, like they don't really explain why the Darksaber gets heavier when you're swinging it. Like I'm sure there's like big reasonings behind it, but like I guess because of the type of crystal it is, like it absorbs emotional energy. I don't fucking know. But yeah, no, I wasn't a huge fan of the way like everything past that shook out. And then she questions him, the leader of Mandalore.
Right, like,
have you ever taken off your helmet? And what if I fucking have?
I like how literally like they're the only 2 Mandalorians that have never taken off their helmet. You have Boba Fett who takes it off all the time.
He just exists outside of the helmet is more for fucking show than anything else.
You got Bo-Katan who always takes off her helmet, and all the other is it they're not Death Watch. They're what's Bo-Katan's tribe called?
I thought it was Death something. I say I have the Death Watch Mandalorian helmet. It's bad as fuck.
Because I thought Death Watch was what's his face is on Mandalore during.
No, I think you're right. I'm trying to think. Oh, what the fuck? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I see you're looking it up.
Because I know she's House Kryze, but that's not what her.
No, let me fucking Google it.
Yeah, I guess it is the Death Watch. Why did
I know she was part of the Death Watch. Night Owls. That she's a leader of the Night Owls.
Night Owls, that's what it was.
She was a lieutenant in the Death Watch, a terrorist group. That's what it says on Wikipedia. A terrorist group. Which is fucking.
So she was a lieutenant in the Death Watch, but now she's the leader of the Night Owls.
Yep. Which is like the people that we met in the Mandalorian. Which again, awesome. Super cool with it.
And I don't think the Night Owls are considered terrorists. I think
no.
I think it's talking about the Death. No. The Death Watch 100% was.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just there were terrorists. Okay, cool. But no, like I hated the fact that she was like, "Have you ever removed your helmet?" And he was honest. He wasn't a fucking lying sack of shit about it. He was like, "Yeah, I did." Well, you're no longer a Mandalorian. One more time, run that by me real quick.
The fuck do you think you are?
Yeah, and I would have pulled out my fucking Darksaber and been like, "And I'm the leader of Mandalore." You're no longer a Mandalorian, bitch.
Dude, that's my favorite meme that I've seen. I think I sent it to you. It's like that conversation and then shows Mando talking to Boba Fett. Boba's like, "You have the Darksaber, bro. Tell that bitch she's not a Mandalorian." And I'm like, for the most part, like I could see that being like a Boba response. Like, yeah, just tell her she's not one. Like,
fuck her.
I think they're setting up Grogu to wield the dark saber, though.
Yeah, no, so I guess we can talk about the last episode, the most recent episode.
It was created by a Jedi from Mandalore.
Yeah, oh no, I know, and
he's now a Jedi taken on by Mandalorians.
No, listen, I agree with you, and
Like,
I don't disagree with you at all. What I did hate was, and I'm sure you've seen the memes about it, like what Luke did to Grogu. Like, go fuck yourself.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yes, do not make this man choose. And what I did like was the fact that he said, like, a short time for you is a lifetime for others, because they have like the different lifespans, which I thought was like super fucking, that was deep.
Right.
And he was trying to explain to him that, like, if you choose the path of being with this Mandalorian, essentially he's going to be like a goldfish to you.
Yeah, he's your pet.
Yeah, he's going to die. And you're not. And like, ta-da.
See, what really annoyed me was like just all the trauma that Luke caused for Grogu. Like, first, hey, let me unlock your memory. Oh, look at that. It's Order 66 where you're hidden watching all these Jedi getting slaughtered.
Can I show you your home?
fun theory. I'm pretty sure that there's a theory out there that R2D2 is the one to save Grogu.
I he would have been in
the temple. If you look at the clones, they are the 501st, which Anakin took to the temple.
Yeah.
As soon as Anakin gets back, he runs over and hugs Padme. C-3PO goes over to R2D2, who throws a shit fit about something.
Yep.
And then it cuts to C-3PO where he says, not too loudly, and then it cuts away.
Yeah.
So all the clone troopers, after they kill those 3 Jedi, they just point and say, move forward, go, go, go. They don't say grab the kid.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's peeking through something.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's actually inside of R2D2 and they're just like, oh, he's just a fucking droid. Leave him.
That underestimate R2D2, you motherfuckers always do it.
Like, I mean, R2D2's done this kind of shit before. Like, dude,
so can I just say, like, R2D2 is the fucking realest dude. Like, he sat there and did not snitch on fucking Anakin Skywalker. He knew what was going on.
He didn't snitch on Luke
or Obi-Wan. Like, he knew everybody.
He put his little thing up. He let the Mandalorian come to the planet. He said, hey, look, we're going to take you here. He said, okay, where are they? And then he just shut himself the fuck off.
He went to fucking bed.
Like, he's just like, I'm cool with it. Like, see ya. Like,
oh my God. So that's why I love R2D2. I just got an R2D2 cup the other day. Oh, I'm so excited about it. But yeah, no, it's he's like the fucking realist dude. He does not give a fuck about your feelings or what you're trying to do. He's like, I got my own agenda. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, like,
and I also love
he's talking mad shit all the time.
So that's what I was gonna say. I love how he has such a personality, even though he doesn't like speak any actual words. Like when him and Mando are walking towards the fucking like the new Jedi temple, and Mando stops, he turns around and like yells at him. You just see his head turn backwards, and like the red lights start beeping, and he starts like yelling at fucking Mando, and then they just keeps cruising like nothing happened. I was like, I fucking love that shit. That's such a great character.
Like, oh God, but yeah, like I don't remember where I was going with that, but I mean that's my whole thing is like, I'm wondering if he's got like obviously PTSD from it, but like how cool would that be? Because another theory was Ahsoka says, he's 50 years old, he's had many teachers. He could have had Anakin as a teacher.
Oof, that is so awkward.
Like, could you imagine like having Anakin and then also being taught by Luke?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like your dad killed everybody. And now you're
really familiar.
Yeah. Now you're telling this 50-year-old, like, I don't know what their race is called, but like he's 50 years old. Like, it's not like a little child. You're like, yo, you're going to choose the Jedi or are you going to choose, the Mando and the lightsaber? Like, this is just me nitpicking a detail. I understand it was Yoda's lightsaber. How the fuck is he going to expect Grogu to wield that? Like, Grogu can't wield that shit for like at least another 100 years.
Oh yeah, Grogu's like still technically an infant in his species. Like he is a baby. And like, aren't you supposed to be like a certain age before you can go to like the Jedi Academy? Like that, Grogu is not that age yet. I mean, like age number wise, yes, but he's not like at that maturity level yet.
Well, see, and like I honestly I think he is. Like I think he's just finally had a chance to kind of like be free because like you can see now that Luke's training him, like he's cognizant of a lot of shit. And even Luke said, like, I'm not teaching him, like he's remembering.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that he put the Grogu in the backpack.
Yeah.
The reference to fucking Yoda being on his
Yoda.
back. I would like, and again, callbacks like that make me super fucking happy because like that was the original shit. Like this was the thing that started it all. You know, you remember those things. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched Star Wars. I remember Yoda riding on Luke's back as he like swung through the
And he
vines.
did the front flip.
Yeah, like I love that shit. I mean, they didn't have vines; they had like bamboo stalks. But like, I'll take it. I'm cool with that, man.
You know, it was a
Change it up a
small
little.
detail that like I really appreciated though. All right. So I hate the detail I hated was just Yoda's lightsaber, just literally the thing being just the same height as Grogu. And I'm like, you want to wield this. The second thing though that I loved was he's like, all right, Grogu, let's go for a walk. But he realizes that like his one step is like 30 for Grogu. So he's using the force
To fucking move
to
him
like
along.
to like fan him along and propel him forward. I was like, yeah, like that's actually pretty smart. Like, okay.
It's funny as
But
shit.
I think they're either setting up Boba Fett to have the dark saber or for Grogu to one day wield it.
So I would, if I'm going to choose, I'm going to choose Grogu on that. So here is why I say that. Grogu, I think, is going to be one of the first Jedi to show that you can have attachment.
Gray Jedi.
Yeah. Now I know we have Ahsoka who didn't want to train him, and I think that's one of the reasons why they wanted to like elude away from that. But I think that's going to end up with like what happens because he's going to still have that attachment to Mando, which I'm totally cool with. But because he sort of falls into that happy medium of like I was raised essentially by a Mandalorian for a little while, and then I was also like part of the Jedi. He can have both. He can have the best of both worlds, and he can wield the dark saber because he wouldn't be like that overly emotional, like badass fighter guy. Now, conversely, I'm curious as to the direction they're going to go with this next episode because that's how the episode ended. Pick your poison, essentially.
He's just gonna show up and force choke the entire Pike Syndicate.
Grogu, that would be the baddest fucking shit ever.
I could really see them like I doubt they will, but I could see them turning Grogu. I really could.
So that was the thing I was worried about during the Mandalorian season 2 when he like fucking went after Moff Gideon.
Dude, he went after Moff Gideon. He did it to what's her face too.
Son of a bitch. Wasn't
The UFC fighter. They got kicked off the show for her political.
Gina Carano. I'm so sad she's gone. I liked her.
Right, but like he force choked her too. Like little Grogu, he's just like, yeah, I don't like you. I'm just gonna grip you up real quick.
Yep.
And like you said, like I think that's why Ahsoka didn't want to train him. Because I think she saw that same like beginnings that Anakin had. Like Anakin had the attachment. Anakin had the fear and all that. And like I mean, if they do it right, I think it could be a really powerful thing, but it's just going to be hard because it's like, how long does he stay that little? Do you time jump a little? Like,
so here's the thing. Like, maybe I'm mistaken here, but like, aren't Jedi supposed to build their own lightsabers?
So
like,
I believe what they do is you have to join and you go through a series of tests. Once you pass those tests, then you go out and they take you into like
the crystal caves.
The crystal caves and all that. And that's like your final test. Like that was what Luke did basically on Dagobah. Yeah. Like you go in, you face your fear or whatever, and then you find your and it leads you to a kyber crystal, which is then the basis of you building your own lightsaber. Then I think you go back to the temple. And I think then once you build your saber, that's like the completion of your initiation to being a Padawan.
Yeah. No, and I get that. I'm just saying, like you said, there is just so much vast
But
size difference.
don't forget,
between Grogu
Luke doesn't
and his
know
lightsaber.
that part of it though. Luke
Yeah.
wasn't part of like the actual Jedi Council. Like he has the texts, but it's like, does he technically have all of them now, or is he still in the process of finding them? And how much does he really know about the Jedi Council? Like he didn't
That's
know.
fair.
He didn't know a troubled Anakin. He only knew an old, regretful Darth Vader.
That's fair. I mean, that does
To
make
where
a ton of fucking
Ahsoka
sense.
knew Anakin and saw the good side, and then saw him turn, and what the emotion could do. And that's why she left the Jedi Council, because she was like, I don't agree with a lot of what's going on and a lot of the views. So maybe this isn't for me. And then she leaves and she does her own thing.
Yeah, that's another big thing I didn't understand. Like Ahsoka, I hate to say it, like she's got more experience than Luke. I mean, I know Luke's like the baddest Jedi on the planet or the galaxy anymore. Like, but Ahsoka's got like so much more to offer. And I feel like that would have been a cool direction to move into, especially due to the fact that, like you said, Grogu could essentially be a great Jedi.
See, I was happy though that like I agree with you, but like I was happy that they didn't have Ahsoka teach him, because then it's kind of like it goes against her character. Like I was saying, like her big thing in Clone Wars, especially towards the end, like which pretty much saved her life, was just like leaving the council.
Yeah.
Like you could argue that like her leaving the council is what made her not, because think about it, she sticks around. She probably stays close to Anakin,
Mhm.
and then she probably ends up in front of his warpath.
Yep.
Instead, she gets split off with the 501st. She goes to Mandalore and fights Maul or whatever. I forget. I think that was the storyline, right? At that point with her.
Yeah.
Which I know this is a Boba Fett episode, but can I just talk about really quick how pissed off I would be if I was Maul in that case? You plan for years this big elaborate plan to get Kenobi to come to Mandalore of all places, where you have the dark saber and you control every Mandalorian, and they send Ahsoka.
Whoop that ass.
like you plan all this time for one guy, and it's like,
they sent a
like,
girl.
I don't even care anymore. Like, fuck it, she could have it. Like,
what do you mean? No, just take it. I don't even want it anymore.
Yeah, like fuck that
I'm
shit.
so disappointed right now. Where is he? Oh no, he said he didn't have time. He had something more important. What was more important? I think he said dinner with his uncle or something. I don't know. But like that's really what it is. Like you sent someone that was completely unexpected, and ta-da. Surprise, motherfucker.
But yeah, as far as the Book of Boba Fett, honestly, like I've been enjoying it. Like, yeah, the episodes with him, like featuring predominantly him, they were slower, but like now we're starting to learn more about how the underground really works. Like everybody knew like Jabba the Hutt ran it, but no one knew like what did he run?
Yeah.
Like how big was his reach? Like,
so here is the one thing I did not like about it, about like the Boba Fett type episodes. One, I mean, I'm sure I could probably like nitpick a bunch of things, but like one big thing I didn't like, I hated the fucking Power Ranger speed bike kids. Just why?
so the scooter chase, that was so bad.
Like you go around looking for like the baddest of the bad motherfuckers in the town. Like you got a black Wookiee with electric knuckle dusters, and like then you just chose a bunch of kids that like modded themselves. It's like going to Hot Topic and like picking their like assistant manager as your fucking backup fighters.
Honestly, see, I view it a little bit differently. So for me, I was like, oh, like that's a really smart thing to do. And I view it like this. Those people that like they'll go on like Facebook Marketplace and they find like a free pen. And they're like, oh, I'll take it. It's a free pen.
Oh yeah.
And then they take that pen and like, I'm gonna sell this pen now for $5. Okay, I have $5 now. Now I'm gonna do this. All right, now I'm gonna turn and flip that for this plus that. Like I feel like that's what he was doing, and they just happened to be the lowest level that he could find at that point.
And that's
like he just needed numbers. It didn't matter who.
That's fair. For me, it was one of those things I was like, because you really don't see too much of them like in the later episodes now. And I just feel like,
Well, you're in the land of Jedi. What the hell are they gonna do at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
You guys might want to go home now. Tell your parents where you've been.
let's put it this way. Even like when they show like the round table that Boba Fett has going on at the end, like Fennec Shan barely even mentions them. Literally, she's like, now that we have Kraton and or
Mando and
yeah, Kraton and the Mandalorian, we now have the muscle we need. It's like that's two people. You didn't have two people. Like,
well, yeah, I love that. And then the fact that he has like the royal guards who are, by the way, like badass, dude. They don't speak, they just grunt.
the
And
pigs.
they have axes. They're like orc pigs, and I fucking love them. They're just like bad dudes, and I'm cool with that. But like honestly, yeah, I thought the scooter bike kids were kind of trash. I mean, what I understand where you're coming from. Like he needed
People
basically
in his
like
corner,
yeah, he
basically,
needed
or he was going to get
bargaining to like
overran immediately.
exactly. And I'm cool with that. But I don't know. I feel like with him and Fennec, like they were a badass duo, and I'm glad that he got the Rancor. Like I was super excited about that. Like that was God.
Yeah, like they haven't even mentioned that again. It's like, dude,
Yep.
who's got a Rancor in his basement, and we're just not going to acknowledge this?
I
That
need
got dropped off by Danny fucking Trejo.
yes. All right, can we talk about that too? Like, what a cameo.
Like,
Can we give him like a machete lightsaber, please?
right, like just give him the dark saber. Screw it. Like it's close enough.
Dude, that was such a good cameo. I was very, very happy to see him in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
so much. And I didn't like the Jabba the Hutt's like whatever fucking cousins or whatever the fuck they were. I hated that.
was it his sister?
It might no, it was siblings or something. Whatever the fuck it is.
I'm trying to figure out where they're gonna play because they were like, we don't even want this planet anymore. It's like, what do you? Do you?
I think that's gonna be a thing if they do like a Boba Fett season 2. Like they want to come back for the throne because they see how prosperous it is.
Yeah, because I mean, my theory of Mandalorian season 3 went right out the window. I thought that they were gonna take their time with the whole we're gonna get back to Grogu storyline, which I would have been fine with. But no, they were just like, hey, next episode, found him.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, you didn't even let it breathe, really. Like,
So
cool.
let me ask you a question. Do you think so? Obviously, we know Luke sort of like goes off the deep end in the final trilogy. Do you think this is the Jedi Temple that he built for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. And if it's not, I believe that he models that one after this one, but I could see this being, they don't specifically say it because we know it's not the same island that he secludes himself to in the crappy trilogy. That's basically just a mountain and that's it. Like, I could totally see this being where he takes on his pupil Ben Kenobi and gets burnt down and all that.
Can we talk real quick about like the power that Luke has? So this man has like a million spider droids building a fucking school for him. And then in the final trilogy, he's crazy old man who milks things and drinks it and screams at rocks. Like the fall.
Honestly, though, I don't think he's controlling those droids.
Oh, no, I'm not saying he's controlling, but like, I'm not saying it's his like force powers, but like he's got that kind of pull.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he does.
Do you think it's Ahsoka?
No.
Okay.
Who were we just talking about?
Fair.
All the droids are blue and white.
Fair.
They all have like a little. I think R2D2 is like
straight up just controlling them.
I think he's just a god at this point in the Star Wars. Like he is
R2D2
the evil
movie.
R2D2 is like the overlord right now. Dude, I would gladly take like a Wally style movie with just R2D2.
Yes. R2D2, a little bit of C3PO. I'm cool with that. I'd fuck with that shit.
But like I really think R2 does a lot more than people like give him credit for because they're like, oh, he's just a droid. But it's like if you think about it, like 99% of the missions that were successful during the Jedi's time was like because of R2D2.
I hid the lightsaber in me and I'm going to shoot it to you at the last second. You're going to do a cool flip and catch it.
Yeah,
that was his idea.
Well, no, like if you think about it, like when Anakin climbs in a Naboo starfighter, R2D2 is the one autopiloting it, and then he's like, "Oh, thanks, R2. Like, I'll take it from here." But like,
well, that's another good reference to Mando taking the fucking Naboo fighter. Oh, love it.
Well, there's actually a really cool scene. So if you play him getting out of the TIE fighter, or not TIE fighter, I'm sorry,
the Naboo
starfighter, it pans across, and R2D2 is coming up the back. So the way it pans for a split second, if you pause it right, R2 is sitting in the droid cockpit.
That's fucking dope. I like that. See, I like that kind of stuff. And that is something that is so subtle that like you wouldn't even realize it if you didn't look for it.
Right.
Yep. I'm fully on. I actually might go rewatch the end of it I guess the middle of it just to check that out.
Yeah, literally it's like right when he gets out, like it starts panning across, but
there are so many like subtle nuances to this show that like are callbacks to the greatest of the movies, and that makes me so happy. And I'm still a huge fan of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka.
Same, like I think she got her other lightsaber back.
Yes.
Because when she was fighting, it got like flipped into that little pond or whatever, but then she had them both hanging on her. But I love the fact that they're staying true to the continuity. And she has the one long one and the one short one.
And that's, dude, like, I can't wait for the Ahsoka series. Like, I know we talk about that, and that's something I really need, like, that tie-in. What does she do after Anakin splits? Like, what did she do to become that technical gray Jedi? They're going to make that canon? Like, fuck yeah.
So there's two ways I'm thinking that they could go with it, which would be number one, we get a live action Omega.
Or as they said in the Bad Batch, Omega.
Or after Luke, she goes looking for Ezra.
See, I would like that storyline a little bit better, I think.
I would definitely like that storyline better, her going back and looking for Ezra and everything.
Because that's big. I mean, he was a huge part of that series. And I'm not saying Omega wasn't, but I don't know.
Well, the only reason why I'm thinking Omega, I feel like it would make more sense for Omega to pop up in the Book of Boba Fett.
I mean, that's fair because the clones, I get that.
They're technically brother and sister.
Yes. And I respect it. I just feel like, again, they could probably bring her in if they did like a season 3. I think that would be like a good timing. I would also like to see a live action Bad Batch. That'd be cool.
I don't know if you heard or not, but Tamara Morrison, he straight up said, he's like, look, if you want to do like more clones, like I'm happy to play any clone you want me to.
Dude, he would be so fucking awesome. So like that was the
Could
one.
You imagine that you get a live action Bad Batch movie
700
with one person in the credits. Yeah. Just one. The title card, just one name.
He even plays Omega, but they just do like the face swapping.
Just give him a wig. They don't even do face swapping. Yeah, he just has a wig on.
Big buff, curly hair. Yeah, and then they're rolling credits. Thank you. It's just his name, big as fuck, for like 10 minutes. It's just rolling super slow.
But I'd be down for that though. Like seeing him play, like even if it's just in different shows. So like in the Obi-Wan show, have him play Rex. In the Ahsoka show, have him play Rex. In Obi-Wan, have him be Commander Cody. Like do it that way, kind of like Stan Lee. Like he would be the Stan Lee of Star Wars.
Cameos.
Yeah, but he's just a different stormtrooper every time. You heard it here first.
Yes.
You heard it here first. So Marvel, when you go and start doing that, I want my dues. I want my duties.
Get it. His dowry. Oh man. But yeah,
golden goose.
I think honestly, like that's That'd be fucking awesome. I'd love to see him pop back up as other characters. You know, give him the scars, give him the hair, or whatever you need to do to make him that character. Do it. Fuck yes.
Right? Like,
I would kill to see an entire movie of just him, like the Clone Wars live action, starring Tamora Morrison and Tamora Morrison.
Just the Clone Wars.
Just the clones. But yeah, I'd be cool with that, man. I'm excited to see the final episode. I want to see how they wrap this up. They have you waiting on bated breath to see what Grogu chooses as his lifeline, whether it's the lightsaber or the Mandalorian Beskar fucking chainmail, which I thought was dope as fuck. Also, can we just like put this out there? Like, Luke has to know what that is. Like, he has to know what it's Beskar chainmail. And you couldn't think to yourself, like, this is a tiny, untrained Jedi. This might be useful.
Now, ready? You want to know what I thought? Like, my first thought was, I swear to God, this was it. When I saw like the size of the shirt now, like it's just big enough to fit him now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sitting there, I'm like, where's the rest of the staff? Like,
it was used to beef up the hammer that you beat the shit out of him.
I'm just saying, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I feel like for as long as that like staff was, I feel like he should have got a little bit more use out of.
Oh yeah, he should have got like more shit, like whistling.
And especially if you're doing chainmail, like I get there's a lot of little links you got to do,
but it's little,
right?
Like you can melt that up into a tiny, like that was the head of the spear.
Yeah, and that's what I'm sitting there, and I was just like, where's the rest of it? Like, yeah. he got gypped in that deal.
No, I absolutely agree, and like that's the thing, he didn't even question it.
Like he's just
fucking,
like, cool.
She wrapped it up in this little thing that looked like Grogu's head, and there he was off in the fucking distance. That was, yeah, I don't know.
One thing I want to know if they're going to bring up is the dent in Boba's helmet.
Like they're going to reference it, like what happened.
Do you know this unwritten story of how he got the dent?
I don't know the unwritten story.
So there was an unfinished Clone War episode,
okay,
where he ends up in a shootout with Cad Bane.
Ooh, well, that would be a fucking perfect.
And Cad Bane shoots him in the head and knocks his helmet off, and that's where the dent is from. Is Cad Bane shot him?
So let me ask you a question then. Since like, what is Cad Bane shooting that caused a dent in Beskar?
Exactly. That's why I want to know if they're going to address this. And I don't know if his helmet is Beskar.
I mean, you would assume. I mean, Mando gets shot in the fucking helmet like 10 times and just ricochets off.
Right, but his is like clearly Beskar. Like it's like the shiny material. Like, yeah. Granted, I mean, yeah, he could just use a flat paint, but I feel it would still have some sort of a shine to it. But that could be just me. I mean, I could be wrong. But for some reason, I didn't think all like Boba's whole helmet was Beskar.
I could be. I don't even fucking know off the top of my head. You gonna look it up? Yeah. So I think it's one of those things that like I would like to see that referenced in this. Like, have Cad Bane come across Boba and be like, "Still got that fucking dent, I see, bitch." That would be awesome. That would be so cool. Any
so I know it looks like in Legends it was Durasteel, but otherwise it's Beskar.
I mean, it makes sense.
But that's why I knew that initially before Beskar was like a thing, it was called Durasteel, which would make sense. Because even in like Rebels, like they don't really go into like the Beskar lore. They just say like, oh, it's a special metal from my planet that's hundreds of years old. Like, yeah,
I mean, it's fucking vibranium,
pretty much. But yeah, no, it was an unfinished episode.
Oh, dude,
and it was basically it was a duel between Cad Bane and so unwrittenly the dent's from Cad Bane, who they now introduced, and so it's going to be like
That's what I'm saying,
All
man.
right, like
I need him to like see that he still has the fucking dented helmet. Like that would be such a perfect circle.
even if it's like just a small reference, like remember what happened last time we met, like,
Yep.
and then like, oh,
Da, da, da. Da, 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 da.
but I
But
don't know.
yeah.
I'm excited to see what we get out of the finale. I just
Oh,
hope
dude.
that it's not like a cluster, like just
So
a
here's the
cluster
thing.
of cameos. Like, just start pushing on with the story now. We all got our fanfare. We're cool with it.
Well, so here's my thing. As much as I appreciate Mando being like a huge part of this, and now Grogu and Luke, like and Ahsoka, like that's all good and well, and we're gonna get those shows. Like I kind of wanted to see a little bit more about Boba Fett. Like I felt like the past couple of weeks, I mean, fuck, you didn't even really see Boba Fett. Period.
He made a cameo in episode 6. He wasn't even in episode 5, and in episode 6, he doesn't talk. Fennec Shan does all the talking. All he does is just kind of like turn his upper body at Mando, give like the old man like "how you doing" nod, and he just
Yeah.
turns back and keeps listening. And that's it. It's like, oh, okay. Like the one detail I do like is during that whole meeting, he keeps his helmet on the throne. I forget if I mentioned this yet, but
No.
he keeps his helmet on the throne just to kind of be like, it's my
Don't
fucking
even think
spot.
about it. Yeah. No,
So like,
and again, like little things like that. And I see, like, if you were a new, potentially threatened ruler, like you would want everyone to know, like, this is my fucking throne. Don't fuck with me. And I respect that because it's real. And like the biggest thing, obviously, like Mando hasn't taken his helmet off this season yet, or like this series yet. I would kind of like to see him do it.
yeah, no, I mean, it would be interesting because, like, I mean, the only person he took his helmet off to was Grogu.
Yep.
Like,
Well,
wasn't it? Because he takes it off by himself during the shootout, and then he takes it off to comfort Grogu.
we're gonna forget about the Boston fucking part of space, that episode in Mandalorian where he takes it off to go fucking.
Ah, yeah, he does.
That's
He
fucking
does
wicked,
take
wicked smart.
the Bill Burr episode.
Yeah.
Where's he hiding at? Bring Bill Burr in for the final episode. Like, I just love the story of how he got on Star Wars. I'm pretty sure like he was just talking mad shit on Star Wars, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come on for an episode?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then he's on the show. Like, why can't that happen to us, Steve? We talk mad shit on mad people.
Get us. I will be a stormtrooper. I don't even care. I'll
I
bring
want
my own shit.
to be a front runner.
That'd be fucking dope. I mean, like, shit, dude.
Make me a Sith. Make me a Sith apprentice. I'll be cool with it.
I will
die.
do. Yeah, I'll do anything
I
you
will
want.
Dooku the shit out of my role.
Cut me in half.
Right? Like, you know what's cooler than being a Sith? Being a Sith that gets just straight up murked on the big screen by a Jedi in a cool fashion.
Oh hell yeah! I want to die in like a really cool way. You can't just like throw me off a cliff or something. No, I want like lightsaber death.
Can't trick me into jumping over you. I don't got hops like that.
No, I don't have the high ground. I'm not that tall. But yeah, all right, guys. So I think, before we fucking go completely off the tracks,
like how Anakin just had to wait 5 seconds to go 5 feet down the line. He could jump to an even ground and continue to fight.
Okay, so before we get any further down the fucking rabbit hole or off the tracks, guys, thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to do our follow-up of the finale. Last but not least, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Something Super Podcast, at SS Podcast 52 on Twitter. We're on all of your major streaming apps. Give us a search on Google, Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
I'm gonna check you guys out next week.